Hello, this is Dr. Do again. This video is outside of medicine, continue with historical figures or event or dynasties. Today I'm going to talk some historical event and dynasty about the Qin, the first united dynasty, united in the way of currency, the culture, the word, the literal, the written words. So start from before the Qin dynasty established was the 7 countries in that period of time, and Qin was the last one, was the weakest at the beginning. But during that period of time, Qin dynasty had before Shi Huangdi, his father, had a person whose name is Yang Shang. Shang was his last name. To change the laws, it's called reform the laws. So he started to ruin the country, lawfully. The law was very brutal, the punishment and the harshness. So that's why, and also to build the military. So that's why the Qin dynasty rose up from the weakest of the 7 countries, became the strongest of the 7, and took over the others, and eventually unite the 7 nations into one. That established the first dynasty has the unified the law, the currency, and also the literal writing, and so that's the major contributions. And also, in terms of the land management, Qin dynasty also had started to have the new laws. But by the Han dynasty, by Zhi Lu, the lady Zhi Lu, was also make it more detailed in terms of how to manage the land. So anyway, and agriculture. So during this Qin dynasty, we already know that there are just 2 generations, because the ruin was too brutal. The laws, the punishment, it's very severe. And also there's some, the politician around the king contributed to the fall. There's some special important event in Qin dynasty. First one was the law reform by Shangyang. This law reform in terms of the law to punish people, and the law to manage the land, and the law to build the military. These are all the laws changed, reformed, so become very harsh and very strict and brutal. So that's the first important event. So that's why Qin rose up to be strong. And the other one is Qin dynasty. They had an event called burning the books and the scholars, bury the scholars, which means military manage, not knowledge. So they burned all the books, and also the scholars. Probably the scholars in this, from the 5 dynasty and to 7 nations, there are a lot of scholars in terms of philosophy, the mind, and some of them belongs to Confucius, students, several generations probably. But still, there are a lot of philosophers start from that time, not just Confucius, one stream, there's some others. And so then, did not mention what kind of scholars, what kind of book they burned, but they just burned the books and burned the scholars, just rule the country, rule the people as ignorant, easy to ruin when people without too much knowledge. They are free. They kind of afraid if people know too much philosophies, too much about human beings, too much knowledge, might not easy to rule, not easy to reign. So that's why they had this event written in the history. So this event is really significant in the history in terms of Qin politics and also political environment, also the early fall of this dynasty, because people are not reading, no knowledge, no understanding, just ignorant, and then the life was harsh, the law was strict, the rulers, especially there's some vicious people around the emperor, so had a lot of bad injustice. So that's why people start to rise up and rebel. There's some important rebellions. That's another important event I'd like to talk for the Qin dynasty. There's so many, but one of them was very well recorded and quite successful from two people. One is Wu, one is Chen. Actually, they were somehow they violate the law because the law was so strict. And they were transported from one city to another city, and it was a rain day. And then they decided to rise up, to rebel. So that's how they started. And they did quite well, quite successful, really almost, I think, overthrow the Qin dynasty. Even though it's not completely overthrown, but just caused the nation chaotic. And after that, continuously had the small rebellion groups, one after another, until the Qin dynasty completely fell. So this is about the Qin dynasty. Talk about the Qin dynasty. The emperor, the second generation, called the junior, I think the emperor junior. He was quite in the history. There's no good name associated with him. He's ignorant, not knowledgeable, no kindness, or no political thought. He was listening to some people around him, like Zhao. So there are a lot of either historical writings or historical idiom associated with him, and he's kind of ruled the country in very vicious way. There's an idiom called "point the deer as a horse." So this Zhao brought a deer actually to the court. Asked all the people serving the emperor, "What is this?" So if you say it is a horse, and because this Zhao and the emperor said this is a horse, but those people, they knew it is not a horse, it's a deer. So for everybody, political curling people know the purpose behind this. So some of them say it's a horse, just follow the leader's tone. It is a horse. So these people survived. But for the other group of people, just saying strictly from the heart, from the mind, this is a deer, then these people were killed, actually. This is it's very important historical written said about how the emperor ruled the second, the junior of Qin. So how did he and that Zhao to rule the country? And this Zhao himself is also living trembles and great fear about the emperor. So this is about the Qin dynasty, important event and how brutal they are. So that's why the country the dynasty only lasted for two generations, and the first emperor Shi Huangdi hoped that his family will inherit his dynasty forever and ever, but unfortunately only 2 generations. So this is about another important dynasty and historical event and historical figures about the Qin second junior and important event, and also Shangyang and the Zhao Gao. This three people and some important event. I'm going to stop here. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.